Flag on the culture, Arness, Aaron. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all you guys. Aaron, how you doing this morning? This afternoon for you.
Evening. We in the evening with it, man. What's good, man? Flag on the culture. We back at it again with another episode for y'all, man. Happy holidays. Hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas, man. And it's great New Year coming up. I hope you guys got things planned out in the correct way where your blessings will be fulfilled. You're gonna just put it out on paper, put it out there. Um, as I'm speaking this, I'm working on this. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a lot of good things. It's a lot of good things in motion right now for Flag on the Culture, for myself. Um, so we'll get deep into some hot topics as well, and we'll further you guys on what's happening in our personal lives as well. But man, how's it going, Coach Ike? How you doing, man?
Blessed, man. Christmas is a day early out here. Um, you know, they also do not celebrate Christmas out here in China. So, but, my employment, they allow me to take off that day because they do understand foreigners do celebrate Christmas. So that was cool. But family's good. Had a good time. So man, can't complain, man. And enjoying, life out here in China right now. And like I said, probably do it later, probably not, but probably on our next segment, really going to the different things of China and everything. And man, I don't know if you knew, but this is gonna be episode 26, bro. We just did episode 25, which is kind of ironic, which is what around Christmas time, and this is episode 26. So man, we consistency, man. This is what it takes. Uh, and we just keep rolling, man. And we do got some for you guys. We'll let y'all know them details. But man, I appreciate y'all sticking around, hearing this out. Uh, continue to ask questions, continue to give your input. We appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. So, bro, let's get into this, man. Let's hop into this right now because it's a lot going on in the world, rather sports or anything entertainment. Bro, what was your thoughts, man, on this on the college football that first round? What was your thoughts?
Man, it was I believe it was what we kind of expected in some ways, in some forms and shapes. Um, yeah, I think it was expected, man. It was definitely some who's in there, man, and some teams in there that kind of held their own, for the most part. And number one, congratulations to all the teams that did make it to the playoffs this year. Congratulations to the teams that some made it in first time in school history. Um, so I just not the first time in school history, the first time in a long time in school history, since they made playoffs. So um, yeah, man, I like the matchups, man. I kind of we kind of knew the obvious matchups. Um, kind of we kind of expected a lot of those things to happen. Now this is where it gets real. This is where it gets real, man. I feel like that this second quarterfinal round right here is where it gets big. You got Oregon versus Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, Alabama versus Indiana. You got Ole Miss versus Georgia, Miami versus Ohio State. So um, this right here is going to be something that's definitely exciting to the fans. I think it's only one team or two teams. It's actually three teams that nobody would have thought would have been in the playoffs this far. Um, and if you ask me, it's Miami, Indiana, and Texas Tech. You know what I'm saying? So those are just my thoughts on what I think, man. I think it could definitely be some good. it could definitely be some great games, man. I think it's gonna be some historical games. I think it's gonna be definitely some games where we see some things from we see a lot of great things from these players, man, and a lot of great things from these coaches, especially with these coaching changes going on as well. So I think it's gonna be exciting, man. It's coming up this week. I think this next December 31st, right?
Close to the New Year time.
Yeah, something like that. So they get a good time to practice. They get time to practice. So man, it's looking good for this second round. The first round was pretty good, but I think the second round is where we get down to get gritty with it, man. What's your thoughts on the first round, though, man?
First round,
What you think about the first round?
the first round, um, I thought it was cool, man.
First round lead into the second round.
And so I'm disappointed in the fans who are saying JMU and Tulane doesn't belong. First things first, right? Do they understand a lot of those players on those teams will be starting at a Power Four team next year? Uh, JMU has been only an FBS program for 4 years. For them to be in the playoffs, that's pretty impressive. And I feel like they held their own, honestly. Other than Oregon playing a great first half defensively, I don't think I saw a missed tackle in space or anything like that. I think they played a flawless first half game. And of course, second half, it kind of got out of hand for Oregon, but they had a big lead and they did not take out their starters as well. Like I said, Tulane, they just didn't show up at all. I wasn't surprised by the Oklahoma Alabama game. Um, Honestly, they play exactly how Washington played 2 years ago. Like they're up and down, but it's gonna be a shootout all at the same time. And then Miami and Texas A&M, I was very, very, very disappointed and very disappointed in just the overall style of the game. Like it took me back to like a Pop Warner, like can't can't do anything. I thought Texas A&M had opportunities, but hey, you got to win the game. And going into this next one, I think it's going to be more blowouts. And the reason why is because more time. I think Ohio State is going to pop Miami. I think they're going to scheme it up correctly. And I just think defensively, right? And then of course turnovers fall into all of it. But I think it's going to be a couple of teams that get blown out because this is what college football does show at the same time. It's not just about athletes, it's about coaching and who has the better coaches. And nobody thinks about this, but this is why you have
This
schematically,
this how the good teams make it.
yeah, this is why teams are better than other. Sometimes it has nothing to do with athletes. It's just about putting your athletes in a better position. And we saw that in the Oregon and Ohio State game at the Rose Bowl, how Oregon just got dismantled by Ohio State. And it's because, and Dan Lanning said this, they showed us a completely different offense, right? And this is where guys gonna be like, we're gonna change up everything that we do, our tendencies, and it's gonna be something completely new, and it's gonna be who's adjust. So I think we're gonna see one or two blowouts, but I hope there's some good games. Just hope at the end of the day.
Okay, so we got Oregon and Texas Tech at the Orange Bowl. Who you got?
I got Texas Tech.
Beating Oregon?
hmm
Well, we got Alabama versus Indiana at the Rose Bowl. That's a lot of red in Pasadena.
I got Indiana winning that.
Ole Miss versus Georgia.
I got Georgia winning.
Miami versus Ohio State.
I got Ohio State winning that. Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I like that.
So you in agreement with those right there?
No,
Who you
no.
got? Who you got?
I got
I know you
Oregon.
got Oregon. I know you got Oregon.
Yeah, I got Oregon, Bama, Georgia, and Ohio State.
Okay, all right. I mean, we,
So I
we
just
will
think it's
see.
two teams that's different. I think
Yeah.
I want Oregon to win. You want Indiana to win.
Now, I
I
got I
think
got Texas Tech winning it all though. I got Texas Tech winning
no,
it
I
all.
want Oregon to win. You want Texas Tech to win. Yeah. So winning it all.
Yeah, I got Texas Tech winning it all.
Oh, they're not getting past Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State,
They about to play. They about to play Oregon first.
bro. All
Have you
right.
seen Texas Tech play yet?
I've seen Texas Tech play. They got a very, very, very great team. They have a team. They don't have they got individuals too, but they don't have a they fundamentally sound, bro. I can see why you why you going with them. But I think like you said, I don't think Oregon is gonna get out coached. And I think the athletes are gonna show up, bro. I think especially because it's one, two, three, four, five teams that have been playing December football for the last 5, 6 years. And these are all new teams who haven't been in the playoffs. And I know the new playoffs just started, but even like having I think it's not being a well-known team to win championships and things like that. So I think with the familiar, with being familiar of being there, they take a different approach to winning. That was just like when they let us in the playoffs at Mount Sac. Like, bro, if we're in, it's over with. We're not losing none of that. Like, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, I think with these teams that have previously been there, they got a better understanding on how to compete and win and what levels to compete at. So that's why I take those teams who I think everybody thinks is going to win, but I honestly think this is where those teams step up along with coaching and along with the whole organization, along with the whole program.
Wow, fact. So let's play this video. Since we talking about it, let's play this video talking about Texas Tech and how they kind of had their success. What's going on with their season right now? This is the best season they had in a long time.
What industry do you work in? Oil and gas. What's the most you've made in a single year? 15 million. I started a company called Encode. We renamed the company Tyler Technologies. What's the most amount of money you've ever made in a year? 55 million. Construction. We revenue 42 million a year. Home building. We sold the private equity. That paycheck was over $1.6 million. Oil and gas. I got kicked out of college and then decided to go in the trucking business. Then went into the production business. What was the most amount of money you ever made in a year? About $80 million. I consider in Los Angeles. I made $2.3 million this year. I put in the NFL. What are you doing for Oakland Raiders? This year for Philadelphia. What's the most amount of money you made in a single year? 2.5 million, something like that. What's the most you paid in a single year? $1 million. They try to say only SMU's got the money. No. We live, what, 4 miles from SMU? What's the most amount of money you made in a year? 7 figures plus. I'm in the leasing business, automobile leasing, and it's because of fraternity brothers and friends from Tech. My Tech heritage is what drove me and enabled me to make the living that I made.
So that video right there is supposedly all the donors at Texas Tech, and this is, a guy asked him how much money they make, and at the same time, the amount of money that they're also are backing behind their football program. So if anyone doesn't know, Texas Tech is one of the number one teams as far as giving out NIL and as far as donor money. So this is the reason why Texas Tech does have one of the best records. What are your thoughts on this, bro?
And the dude that just ended, the dude that ended the video summed up the whole entire video. The fraternity brothers, the people he graduated with, and things like that. I just feel like they really have an establishment over there at Texas Tech, and it is a brotherhood. It seems like it's a brotherhood, but as you know, a fraternity is a brotherhood as well. So, I just feel like a lot of those people who are successful, of course, those are tax write-offs, but look how much they're able to write off from being successful, from being around other people. Like one of the guys told you, um, he dropped out of school,
Got
but
kicked out.
got kicked out. But obviously, he was networked and he was connected and he was well. He had very good intel to get in good with to be in a position that he's in. As we see that he was in a suite watching the game after even being kicked out. Now, who knows if he's went back to Texas Tech to get his to finish as he got older and things like that. But um, that just goes to show, man. Even with a person like that, like you said, that even has gotten kicked out is successful just from knowing his people and the biggest thing I got from that is networking, man. Resources. Go attack those people on a campus. And I don't mean physically. I mean see what these people are about. See what these people do. These people are there to help you. So um, man, I think at any school that you go to, any college you go to, especially with all this NIL getting involved, you have to find out who the number one donor is and rub elbows correctly. And that's just my personal advice. So I just love their brotherhood there. I love the way that I love the way that they're all leaning off each other in a sense, and how they're all dipping into the same pot. So what you think? What's your thoughts on that, bro? What you think about
Mhm.
the
We talked about how network is most important than your actual degree, and I think it's awesome that they are actually poured back in to, regardless of what industry they was in. They believed in their alma mater and giving back money. Right, like you said, there's some definitely some benefits of giving money and things of that sort, but for you to be making that amount of money and able to give back to a program or somewhere where you really care for, that's awesome. And this is why, at the same time, they have so many resources of why they're put in this position. I don't know if people know, but the head coach for Texas Tech, he actually has been a long time high school coach, and he went on winning streaks. I think he won like 3 or 4 championships in Texas prior to him coaching. I think this is his third or fourth season at Texas Tech. So for them to have that success this fast, they're fully bought in. And somebody said to me they are nervous because Texas money is a little different than everybody else. They believe that Texas, the state of Texas, could possibly run college football due to the fact of the money. But for those who do not know, they also have said that collectives will stop and that it's going to be that the schools that will be kind of paying right, and that cap is 20 million. But for those who do not know, there's a lot of schools who do not, they'll never get to that 20 million. So where are they getting this money from? Essentially, they're getting a loan or donations or donors, right, to get them to that cap all the time. So yeah, when you have the money, uh, you'll definitely win. As you see, Texas Tech, once again, they're in the playoffs, um, and looking to make some noise and go far. So let's see what happens when this playoffs kick off against when they play against Oregon. I think that's interesting, man. Let's go into this next video right here, man. This is kind of eye opening.
Now, let's go and talk about Georgia. Here's what we know. A Georgia football player, Damon Wilson II, signed an NIL agreement in December of 2024 with Georgia's NIL collective, and that collective was called the Classic City Collective. The report value of the deal was around $500,000 over roughly 14 months. The deal included monthly payments, retention bonuses tied to staying at Georgia. He received the first payment, about $30,000. Then he entered the transfer portal and transferred to Missouri. Now, here's the part that stopped a lot of people in their tracks. The NIL agreement included a clause that said if he left early, he owed back the remaining value of the contract. Georgia, through its athletic association, is now trying to recover approximately $390,000. That's not money they've already paid him. That's the money they say he owes them because he didn't stay. And guys, this is not a rumor. This is not an internet speculation. This is a legal filing, and this is completely all new territory for the NCAA. So for years, families believed something very simple about NIL. If you leave, the deal just ends. That belief's outdated. Some NIL deals now look long-term commitments with penalties. And here's where families get hurt. They hear NIL, they think it's flexible, that this is optional, that this is extra. But contracts are contracts. And if you don't understand the exit language, you don't understand the deal. So let's clear up a major misunderstanding. A collective is not the school. It's a separate entity funded by boosters or donors to facilitate those types of NIL opportunities. But in reality, collectives often work closely with athletic departments. In this case, the collective assigned its enforcement rights to the University of Georgia Athletic Association. That's why the school is now involved. This matters because families think I'm dealing with the third party, but the consequences often come back to the institution.
So shout out to that gentleman for breaking this down. Um, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Hey, I think this is gonna happen all over the NCAA if this wins in court. Um, Damn, this is like a change in the game right here. This is a big major change in the game, especially if everybody does start doing that and they start man, this would be a crazy domino effect, bro. I think if everybody starts doing that or putting clauses within the contracts, but like you said, a contract is a contract, so it's no going against that once you sign it. But I think this is definitely something that should be implemented. Um, just for runaway guys. Now, I think a percentage should be discussed rather than the full amount because you are holding someone against their will to now leave um, over a financial purpose like that. Yes, everybody owned up to it in the contract, and I mean it just gets a little tricky when you do a contract. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I think that's something that they should install. But I think as the players, I think that they go in with a percentage of something being owed if there is a possible transfer portal situation. I think they set up something for the students. I think they set up something for the players that doesn't necessarily combat that, but kind of goes with that to help help all sides and all parties out. Um, because ultimately that ruins a relationship with the school, that ruins a relationship with the donor, that ruins a potential lifelong relationship that is just over finances. And I mean, if some people just aren't investing in you to see somebody else do better, then I mean, I guess then that's just what it is. But I mean, I thought some people put their money behind some things that um, has a good ROI or return on your investment, or just something that you just believe in, and something you believe in obviously has a good ROI on it. So, um, man, what's your thoughts on that, bro? That's a crazy that's a crazy situation, bro. That's actually that's a crazy situation, bro.
So first of all, Georgia and whoever this collected, they out of their mind. They didn't even pay this young man 390,000, and they talking about he owes it. That's the dumbest. If they win NCAA, the judge, whoever, they're stupid. Okay, respectfully. Number two, number two. Um, keep talking about it, man. You are a business, and you cannot operate just nilly willy out here. You have to conduct yourself as a business and do what business does. And this is what business does. Now, contracts, just because you wrote up something, that doesn't mean anything. People get out of contracts all the time. This is why they go fight. This is why they have to go to court. So yes, this is something this is how business is operated. Three, I think this is what schools, this is what that new um, thing that NCAA just signed as far as the school paying through their own cap. I think that kind of gets away from that. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, if it's NIL that, you know, a athlete goes outside, that's going to be kind of different, which they should be able to do that. But, you know, you just got to protect yourself, get lawyers, and run as a business and stop doing stuff just unknowingly, because it can backfire on you as an athlete and hurt you. Um, you know, very unfortunate that, you know, that athletes will have to go through this, but I think it's a life lesson for those who see it and like, hey, we just got to operate better. I think this was going to happen regardless because this is all fairly new. But if people are paying attention and understand, I think going forward, we'll hear less cases about this because people will know how to move. People will get a team that actually represents them in their best interest and will operate efficiently like a business rather than, oh, we're just going to move like this. I don't think that would be the case. Hopefully, that's not the case, and we learn. But we will monitor the situation. I'm pretty sure we'll hear something. But yeah, they are crazy. They didn't even pay the man 390,000, and they talking about getting it back. You are nuts. You are nuts. So
Yeah, that don't make sense to me. But they just saying since he signed a contract for that much and left, that we feel like whatever we gave him, he owes us the rest. But what if he turn around? What if the judge turn around and say, no, he signed that contract. You guys owe him. He didn't want to be at that school.
yeah,
So if those are the NIL rules, I think with the breakdown of the NIL rules, shoot, he fights for a lawsuit and he gets that 390,000. But like I said, it's something that definitely they're gonna start implementing all over the NCAA within NIL collectives and programs.
yeah, as they should, because like you protect against people who are trying to take
You
advantage.
protect everybody. You protect everybody.
That's their job. I don't like it, but at the same time, you know, you gotta put something in place to protect everybody. Ah man, it's a lot. It's a lot, bro. So, bro,
Speaking of protection, man, you know we got to care about the youth, man, and youth football is taking a different turn. Um, I wanted you to show the video of what what we had previously discussed. But just show them, and then we'll give them our opinions on youth football and things like that.
yep, here we go.
Youth sports is dead. No more Sandlot. Why? Private equity killed it. Shocker. I'm shocked.
Would you say crap face?
Youth sports is no longer a childhood pastime. It is now big business. $40 billion, which is larger than the MLB and NFL combined. Congress just held a hearing called Benched, cute, because the average family now spends over $1,000 on their kid's primary sport. That's a 50% increase since 2019. And these costs are obviously forcing kids to quit. What happened to the good old days? I remember when I quit because I was bad at sports, or more realistically, I was bullied. Anyways, let's look at the main players and what they do. First up, it is the vertical monopoly within cheerleading. In 2024, KKR bought Varsity Brands from Bain Capital for $4.75 billion. Varsity runs a vertical monopoly within cheerleading. They own the camps, the tournaments, and even the apparel company that creates all of the uniforms. Let's move on. It's weird for me to talk about cheerleading. Up next, what about hotels and travel teams for Little Stevens baseball tournaments? Let's look at hotel kickbacks and the stay-to-play ransom that these tournaments employ. Unrivaled Sports is a youth athletics holdco founded by billionaires Josh Harris, Apollo's co-founder, and David Blitzer, a longtime exec at Blackstone. That's the one that owns all your homes. They also own famed venues like Cooperstown All-Star Village, which hosts Little League tournaments all summer. Now, often these tournaments push families into stay-to-play arrangements where they're forced to book at hotels 30 to 50% higher than normal rates. And if you try to book at a cheaper hotel down the street, or God forbid, an Airbnb, you're forced to pay a hotel breakage fee, sometimes up to $1,000. And finally, what about memories? That's the whole point, right? Great memories of your kids playing sports. Surely they can't get involved there. Not so fast. Black Bear Sports Group, a subsidiary of Blackstreet Capital, is the largest rink owner in the country. And they've been caught banning parents from recording their own kids, at least I hope it's their own kids, at their facilities. Why? So they can charge you $50 a month for their own streaming service, so you can watch their corporate slop stream and see your 8-year-old play. We really don't need another streaming service. Please just let the Saudis buy that too. We don't care at this point. And these are just a few stories of how private equity has infiltrated youth sports.
Oh man, private equity is making. We had this discussion, man, how already financially how it was impossible almost, right, with one child, and especially if you have multiple children, right, how sports has risen. But now private equity has gotten involved in hotels, cheerleading, right? Owning the monopoly of that. Cheerleading is a big business, right? The competitions, hotels, travel, stuff like that. As you saw, they are buying or own the BlackRock. People who don't know what BlackRock is, please look them up. They are a hedge fund company, right? Who owns property and investments and things of that sort, right? Um, Owning these baseball fields, which these camps are held at, these tournaments are at. Unfortunately, you can't record your own kids at a certain venue. Bro, what's your thoughts on all of this, bro?
It makes it first of all, it's no longer a vacation when it's supposed to be a vacation on top of fun. Um, that's if you, of course, going out of state, going out of town. Um, they've made it to where you damn near gotta work while you are traveling. Um, what was that saying they used to say? They taking up everything, but they taking up the rent, but the jobs are still the same. The jobs are I forget something they used to say or something like that, something along the lines of that. Um, but they're taking up the cost of youth sports and not provide more amenities. Um, that is severe, bro. That is terrible, actually. It just doesn't give me, it doesn't sit well with me just for the simple fact of it's, it shouldn't, like we said in one of the previous segments, football is a poor man's game. So it shouldn't take, it shouldn't cost that much um amongst with all the other, fees and stuff like that, tournament fees, jerseys and stuff like that. It shouldn't amount up to that much. And let's be honest, unless you are a national team and you're going out of state. But those teams have sponsors. Teams have donors who are willing to, give in and help out like that so those kids can have those advantages. Um, but yeah, it's that's not good, bro. I think that's not good. I'm hoping youth sports doesn't come to that, but I also hope that um, we find a way to avoid dealing with those companies if that makes sense, bro. Like, because for me, it's just I think a lot of these sports, they're backyard sports. Football's a backyard sport. You can learn that in the backyard. Basketball, you can learn that in the backyard. All these type of things you can learn without having. Yes, we are trainers, but you can learn these things with having somebody who has experienced these things up to a certain point and help you with something up to that certain point. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I just feel like it's a lot of different avenues and different like things that it does as far as a control tactic, bro. I heard a person that's trying to control the whole narrative. Um I hate a person that's just trying to control the whole thing, man. And it's just I'm glad I'm no longer a youth, but I do plan on having kids, man. So I just pray that it doesn't end up going to that type that I see it's going there, but I just hope it doesn't continue to go there. You know what I'm saying? But what's your thoughts on that, bro? Because for me, I think it's ridiculous. That's terrible. I don't think they should come up with something. I mean, but then like, who am I to say? But I don't think that that's something that is fair.
Mm, it's not fair, but that's how the world is. It's all business. Um, Unfortunately, and people. This is why people you gotta be on your p's and q's, understanding. Are you either the consumer or do you own it, run it, right? Like you have to play somewhere. You have to, right? And what people don't understand though too, this is in part in some way, right? Parents are responsible for this as well because they want, like, we want to play more, we want this, or we want to travel, this and that. Um, I'm not putting it all on the parents, but this is definitely wrong. That they hike up prices, right? They want to drain all the money out of people. Their earn money, especially for their kids, to learn some discipline, to learn some characteristics that can carry them in life. They're definitely wrong for that. And I think the answer going forward though is say no. Like, no, we'll just do our own little thing here, somewhere else, right? Um, I think if that's us banding together and like, no, we don't, we're gonna turn down that opportunity. Me personally, and we had the opportunity when I was in Pop Warner, like, to go play football in Florida. If nobody can afford it, nobody should be going. There shouldn't be unless there is a sponsor. We if the budget, we need this budget by this certain amount of time and we can't do it, we're not going. Let's just keep it simple as that though. As a team, this is something, as if I'm running an organization, hey, we possibly want to do this. If we cannot do it by this certain amount of time, we're not going. And just keep it like that. But like I said, it's very unfortunate, man, and I believe we're only gonna see more because people don't even know this is going on. You don't know. You don't know that the hotel prices is going up. You wouldn't know that unless you went to prior to them becoming owners of the facilities. You wouldn't know how much it costs unless you actually planning this. But this is not just going on in baseball. This is going on in basketball. This is going on in 7-on-7. All these
Yeah,
things.
this is
So
in all sports. This is in
yeah,
all sports. We're not just talking about one sport. This is a
yeah.
flag.
So
This is a flag
and
on them.
at the end of the day, you do all of this to make a profit. I'm sorry. So to say I'm saying it's wrong that they're bleeding out families from enjoying it. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to make a profit. I'm saying to directly bleed out and make where kids, it's not even affordable for parents to put their kids in it. But the whole point of somebody doing business is to become a monopoly. I'm sorry to say that's just how the world is, and people need to understand that. That's not the wrong part. So, yeah, start your own league, do it. I mean, we had Rashim on. He started his own team. He started. I mean, and then you give back to those and pay those that need it. But if you don't like it, get out of the league, go somewhere else, and do it somewhere else, or buy the land just like everybody else does now, and do the exact same thing. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate for the kids and that they won't experience certain things. So that's what is unfortunate, man.
It
That is
seems like
what's
everything is attacking the kids, man.
it seemed like that, but it is attacking your wallet, and that attacked the kids. And that's what
Yeah,
they.
now like if it's attacking your wallet, the kid is not able to now sign up. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean from a perspective of um you're giving certain kids opportunities. You're giving a different set of you're giving different kids opportunities rather than all kids opportunities.
But I don't. Once again, I don't think it's their intention. Their intention is money. So that it may play out like that, but it's just
Yeah.
like if somebody say, "Oh, the bank is racist." Is the bank racist, or do they want to make sure if they loan you money, you gonna pay them back? I don't think they care about if you black, white, yellow. If you don't have a good credit score, if you ain't got no job, why would they loan out money to you? I think this is the same scenario. If you can't afford it, we don't care necessarily if you black, white, yellow, green. We pricing you out. Now we know who we know what families is pricing out. So it might seem like we're not giving the kids opportunity, but I don't think they care about that. They want only like the people who can pay for this and who's willing to pay to do it. So yeah, yeah, bro. And talking about paying, we're trainers, and we have trained youth, we have trained professional athletes. What is the difference in your mind, or you seen when you training the two, or if you had to compare the two? What is the difference in your eyes?
Um, I think with the foundation that you've allowed me to walk on, and now the foundation I'm able to give back now, I think the difference is just terminology. But you go all the way back to the basics for them as well, because a lot of those guys don't work the basics, bro. So I feel like it's a difference in speech. It's a difference in terminology. It's a difference in, of course, experience. Um, but I necessarily don't feel like there's a big cross path besides the age, size, experience, and all that type of stuff. But as far as going in teaching, I think I would go back to the basic. I would go back to the basics for a professional athlete, or going from the ground up for a professional athlete. Just because some guys, like I said, only work certain things that they feel like they're only good at. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's in our nature as trainers to not necessarily it's in our nature as trainers to allow those guys to work on what they're exposed on, if that makes sense. Um, and not necessarily exposed on. I think it's we give them more. To me, it's the same. The terminology just changes. I don't even want to keep elaborating and coming back in the same circling around. But what do you think the difference is, bro? Like, what do you think the difference is between training professional athletes and youth?
So I think youth, right? You are building a foundation, right? There's nothing at all, clean slate, and or if there is, breaking it down and correcting it, something that can be built on. Which it takes more work than someone who doesn't have a foundation. With professional athletes or guys who have already at a high level, right? I think it's a little different. I think it's more insight, right? Some they already have a foundation, they already have some knowledge, but I think it's more of a aha. I didn't see it like that, or you you gave me a different perspective on it, right? I think for some, right, you might have some that need to be the fundamentals need to be corrected or they need to be built up a little bit. But for the most part, it's more so the information of how you told me that it makes so much sense. I knew this, but how you put it, it's more so like, oh, okay, that resonates with me. I understand that, boom. So if I had to put the two, the youth is building the foundation, the with the professional athlete is more so revealing the or giving a perspective of why we're doing this and giving them the understanding. So That's for me. That's what I think the difference is, and it's a blessing where you see it from both sides, right? Um, where you get results from someone you can see from scratch, and then someone you can see that you just changed their whole game just by sharing the information or a nugget that really that's all they needed, and they continue to make plays and be successful in their career. I think it's just awesome both ways.
Yeah, for real. That is, man. I think it's like I said, I working with them, the terminology for me just had to change up a little bit. But like you said, once they got that foundation and they stand on that foundation, I like for them to always stand on that foundation and go back to what got you in the league. You know what I'm saying? And like we big on development. So if you can continue to develop what got you in here and now add another piece to the pie and keep developing that, man, I don't see why not. You know what I'm saying? And just having it from a youth, man, I think, it's very similar. Very, very similar. You know what I'm saying?
Um, I don't know if we have time. I do want to discuss this though. So for people who do not know, I'm in China, right? And these are just things that I've noticed since I've been out here. The experience has been great. A couple of things that I do want to share on though. Number one, right? I'm at a school, so I'm around kids all the time. And bro, these kids, and I'm at an international school, so I guess you can say private. And I've been around some private school kids in the States. Bro, these kids are not disrespectful at all. Very respectful. Now they don't listen. They like any other kid, right? These kids do not listen, but they're not disrespectful. So that's one in China. Regardless if I speak English or I speak Chinese, they treat all adults for the most part. It's not disrespectful. Number two is their curriculum. First of all, they have PE like 4 times in a day, which is it that caught my eye. Now, mind you, they have some fat kids as well, just like we do in the States. But for them to have PE 4 times a day, we talking about almost every day too. They have some type of PE. So that was unique when I first got out here. At the same time, these kids are exposed to different clubs every day. So there's a football club, there's a crafting club, there's a chess club, there's a drones club. All these different things are offered to these kids, which is amazing. I've never seen it even at private schools that I know about. I didn't know these kids were exposed to so much stuff. Number three is the cafeteria. Well, we talked about how the cafeterias in school, bro, we used to get pizzas and bags, either pizza they'll cook for you or, the Meerkat McDonald meat, right, for your burgers, something like that. That's not the case. Cafeteria. The food is cooked fresh daily, right? It's prepared by some cooks every day, and the food tastes good and it's healthy. It's not bad. So that's definitely awesome. They are not allowed to have drinks. So we're talking about outside of water. They cannot have like soda drink at the school at all. It's not permitted at all for them. Talking about water, and this is just in China in general. China, they have water fountains. Their water does not come out cold at all. It's either warm, and when I'm talking about warm, I'm talking about more on the hot side, and they have hot water. And they just drink their water hot for some odd reason. Regardless if it's sunny, regardless if it's cold, it does not matter. The water comes out hot. Now, why this is a bonus, because if you have noodles, which you can buy noodles anywhere, you can have some food to go because now you have noodles and it's in a bowl. You can just make some noodles right there at the airport or at the park, wherever it is. So those are the things that stuck out to me. Another thing, there is no holidays, like, as I mentioned before, right? There is no Christmas. They don't celebrate Christmas. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving. None of those things. There's really, for the most part, that I know about is Independence Day, which is like a week long, right? Which is when I first got out here, which was around October. My daughter was born. And then They celebrate New Year's. Now, New Year's, this is crazy. Right now, we are Saturday morning, and it is Friday afternoon for you guys. Um, New Year's is in February, so you guys will be in 2026 before us. But they take like almost like 2 weeks off as well for New Year's, and we talking about businesses are shut down, schools are shut down, all these things. So that's pretty awesome. It's a big thing. Red Dragons, they giving out money, giving out cards and stuff like that to loved ones, friends. Um, so yeah, um, talking about their clothing, right? And the clothing is a little different. They would like to wear the baggy clothes. They're into fashion out here. It's a lot of fake stuff though, a lot. And honestly, it's so good. Sometimes you can't tell. Like I've sent you some photos. It's not so good. You know what it is, and they don't care though. They honestly do not care. It is fashion, but at the same time, they like so be it, right? And not everybody makes a decent amount of money out here, right? But for the people who do, they still buy Gucci, they still buy the Louis Vuitton, they still buy the stuff that's out here in its regular price. It's not a cheaper price. So for people who think like, oh, I'm gonna come out here and get the Louis, the real Louis, supposedly, even though it's all made in China, right? The cost is still the same cost in the states. So if you were to convert it, it's still the same amount. And at the same time, if you use their money, it's more. So you really have to be making some decent money out here. Um, at the same time, we talking about living wise, much cheaper than it is in the states. I was told by a teacher, if you buy a property, rather a condo, a home, anything like that, you pay it off. You no longer have taxes on it. So that's your home clear. Clear. You don't have to pay any taxes on it at all, which is awesome. In the states, for people who don't know, once you buy a home, you have property taxes every year. So regardless if you pay it, if you don't pay the property taxes, you actually can lose your home. That's not the case. You will never have to pay for your taxes or anything like that. No fees on your home once you pay it off, which is amazing, which is how you build generational wealth. Second thing, bro, Aaron, they do not use cash like that, bro. Some businesses do not use cash. They actually have a system where everything is through apps. You use a QR code, you get around on the trains, metro, bus, whatever it is. They call the DD. There's like Uber out there for us. Everything's on your phone. You actually pay your utilities on your phone, which is now no mail. I've never had mail delivered to me. Everything is on my phone to tell me, okay, this needs to be paid, or this is, I need to catch my Uber. And the technology is just super dope. It's fast. If I send some money to you, almost like Zelle, I can send it through this app, but at the same time, I can send it right away. Like if I send some money to my bank, it's not going to take um, 3 days. It's going to be sent in minutes. Everything is streamlined fast. Everything is up to date. If I am to order food, let's say if I was to order some food, and because I had a Chili's around where I live, if I wanted to order some food, right, it would need to be a certain price, which is the same the case out here. But if I was to get that food delivered to me, let's say I order something for my family, let's say that meal cost me $50. If I wanted that delivered to me, the bill would probably be $100 because now to deliver the food. Out in China, that's not the case. If my meal was 50 UNs, right, the delivery fee would probably be like 5 UNs at the most, probably less than that. So my food would come out less than $60, 60 UNs. So it's quite different how it is in the States as far as they trying to tax you for everything. And the delivery system is truly amazing. We went to a grocery store and me and my wife, the kids were shopping, and they have bags that's automating, right? Where things are getting filled up in it. I don't know how they're doing it, but you see bags are moving, and that's all the online stuff. So you have nobody doing it themselves. You see like food bags is going through the top and moving and stuff like that. And it's dope, bro. It's dope. Like they get it out here. Eggs come out in 30 pack. Like That's normal. Eggs come out in a 30 pack. Now they do have 4 packs and 5 packs, right? But it's not no 12 packs. And you getting 30 fresh eggs. You feel me? When you go into the store, the meat market, the fish are alive. the fish, like how you go in a Caribbean place or something like that, the fish are alive. You get to like, hey, I want that. You take it home. You got to kill it yourself. The crabs are moving around. Um, they got fresh meat right there, cut up for you. Of course, they got now they eat everything out here. They eat cat, dog. I have not met individuals who have eaten it yet, but I was told that they eat cats and dogs. They eat uh, turtle. They eat all of it. That's what they just believe in China. They so that's but at the same time, um, you can tell if you're gonna get it though. It's not like a surprise. The Chinese food completely different in states than the U.S. So orange chicken, I've never seen orange chicken on the menu at all. Have not seen it. Nobody eats orange chicken. That's only in the states, right? Um, so the food is just the quality is just much different, bro. On to go back to the money part, right? Everything is connected to your phone number. So if I get something delivered to me, it's based on my phone number. They call me. If I get like they have like an Amazon, but they have their own, which is moves very fast. Order something, it'll come back in like a day or 2 days. But I can actually see where the person is driving. I can see all that stuff on my phone in real time. Um, but if you get in any debts, now they're big on this. China does not play. If you get in any debts and you're not able to pay it back in time, they will shut down your account. Now, why this is big is because in China, you don't necessarily need your wallet. I have a bank account and I use a debit card. I have not used my debit card. I probably used it twice and that's when I first got it. Everything else is connected on my phone. So if you get in debt though, they will shut down your number, right? And this now you don't get access to your account. You can't pay anything. You can't receive any money. You can't go to work unless you have some type of scooter. And essentially, they lock you out. And I've been seeing this, but I haven't seen it in China. I've seen this on social media. I think this is more propaganda from the US, just looking because that's what they share, how people are homeless because of these things. And I talked to someone about it, and they said, you got to understand, China, there's billions of people. If we don't get things under control, there's like, you know, it will get out of control. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. That completely makes sense. But that is something that's big out here. One other thing is when it comes to travel, and this is not big, and we had Derek on. He talked about it because he's in China out here as well. Scooters and not motorcycles, but more so skilled scooters, right? This is not new to me. I went to Rome, Italy, and that's how they drive the same way. I don't understand why scooters are not big in the States, especially if you work close or you local. So getting a scooter does not require you to get a license, doesn't require you to do anything, right? You don't need a pass, no test. You don't need to become have a driver's license to even get a scooter. But everything is electronically. So for the most part, you buy one, you can hook it up at your job, you can hook it up at your school, whatever it is, at your apartment, you can hook it up. And now you're able to get somewhere so much faster rather than waiting in traffic. And you have Aaron, bro, you have old ladies working on bikes or these scooters. They got these huge crates of work or whatever they got to carry and they pedaling and getting across the street. Everybody working out here, man. Everybody working out here to get it for the most part. So this is just the things I've seen in China, bro. It's very unique. At the same time, you be like the stuff that they do. It makes sense. Like why aren't we thinking about stuff like this? Like we're just so behind in America in so many facets, but at the same time, it's just like okay, I can see why China's doing what they're doing, man. But it's just something that people, I definitely suggest people come out here and visit and see what it's all about. You'll truly be amazed. Like I said, this is my last thing. There is ignorance out here. Please believe that. Every time people see us, they believe, and this is how I know they believe we're African because Africa is closer to America than America is to China, right? So the reason why I know is because there is some people who, first of all, you can translate what they're saying, and there's people who does speak speak English, who can translate what other people are asking. And everybody always think you're African because we're black, and they think we're from Africa. And they keep asking, or they want to touch your hair because they never seen it, stuff like that. But overall, great experience, bro, and just wanted to share that and tell people for those who might be interested to take a visit, and also if if things are getting rough out there in the states, man, there's opportunities. They're looking for more Americans to work in different facets, but you got to get out of your box. And it's not even just China. Just get out and explore the world, man. If there is more to the United States than meets the eye, and everything is not true on the media side.
Yeah, you can feel this in. You just gave us a whole lot of education, man. Because it's a lot of be. I want to come visit.
Yeah, bro.
I see myself. I vision myself there. So
Yeah.
that's good, man. I'm glad y'all having a good time. I'm glad the kids is enjoying it. I'm glad your wife loving it out there, man. I'm glad y'all. It's not too many people that's gonna go out there and have that kind of experience. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to ask you, what crime have you seen out there?
There's no crime. No crime. Nobody carries a gun. The only people who carry guns out here is the military. Not even the police officers. I haven't seen a police officer with guns. So there's no crime, and they got cameras everywhere. They gonna catch you. They gonna catch you if you do something, and you going to jail. Or if you're not out here, they deporting you. They don't play that at all. And I forgot to tell this. So everything is prepaid. So when my daughter was born, right? My daughter, she was probably like almost like a month ahead of time than she was supposed to be born. So you pay the doctors in advance, right? You don't pay after. You also, that's the same way with your apartment. So when you buy utilities, you don't wait at the end of the month. You got to pay it up front. So if you do plan on coming out here living, please bring enough money to understand like you gonna spend money up front, but uh, which is cool. Like once again, they don't worry about getting in debt because if you don't have the money and you run out of electricity, that's on you. Like you gotta sit there until you get money again to pay it. And the crazy thing about it is everybody gets paid monthly out here. Everybody. Unless you do some type of side gig and it's virtual or something like that. Any money out here, everybody gets paid monthly. Everybody. There's no exception. Which is kind of crazy too as well. So, but yeah, no crime at all. No crime at all.
Yeah, that's amazing. So they know when everybody getting paid. I know when so and so just got paid. I just yeah,
But
that is
that's
a lot.
everybody gets paid differently. But like days, but as far as month, like somebody getting paid on the first, somebody getting paid like on the 10th, the 12th. But it's just gonna be a monthly check. It ain't gonna be like, oh, every 2 weeks you get a check. So you
Oh,
gotta budget. You gotta budget that though correctly. And people who work in the school system, they get paid like that in the states, so they understand that. But some people they ain't never got paid like that a day in their life. So if you out here working somewhere, you like, oh, when we get paid, like, oh yeah, we get paid once a month. You be like, what? Yeah, kill it. The money can go fast if you like, oh yeah. Hey, what? Why my phone ain't working? Oh, you ain't paid your bill yet. You ran out of your. You ran out. Oh, okay. Okay. I know somebody. He's like, man, my lights ain't on. And it's like, yeah, bro, you gotta pay your bill. He's like, what? I paid it. He's like, no, it if you use the amount and you didn't put enough, you gotta some more. Like, oh, nobody told me this. That's just how it is in China, man. That's how it is. So yeah, man, just definitely want to share that, man. Definitely want to share. Uh, bro. That's a wrap, bro. Is unless you got something else that you want to add to it as well, man.
I'm all good, man. That was a good little segment we had for him. I think we dropped a couple gems. Let us also know what hot topics y'all want to hear, man. What y'all want to hear about. We have ours that we come up with, but y'all's as well, like y'all's is, it's a lot more fun when we can tap in with you guys who are watching, so we can, just kind of hit on those small topics and things like that. So, man, thank y'all, man. We had a good night tonight. It was a great segment, man. Thank you for filling us in, man. And we throwing flags on the culture, y'all.
Relax, man. Well, that's a wrap for tonight. Aaron, man, have a good one. See what these college games is talking about. I'll talk to you, my guy.
All right, Mike.